Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am here to film my week 2 check-in for the month of December. I have here everything that I need. Once again, same old routine. We have here my cash envelopes. I have my micro happy notes where I keep all of the trackers for those cash envelopes. I have a pen, my budget expense stickers, for all of the spending I've made for this second week. So I think I'm all ready to go. If you have not checked out any of my other videos this month, then you definitely should. I kind of go over pretty much everything. I set up a budget for myself every single month as to how much I'm going to be spending for each one of my cash envelope categories, but also for bills and whatnot. I also have set up, I believe, this weekly check-in spread last week, and we are now in week 2. So week 2 for me is from the 7th until the 13th. So that is what we're going to be weekly checking in for. I do also have here my green pen, which is the one I've been using to check off expenses and bills as I go through them. And so I can go ahead and check off the bat this one, which I know it doesn't have a sticker for it. I have yet to print and cut the sticker that I'm going to be putting up here, which is just going to be renter's insurance, and that already came out of my account, and I paid $10.83 for that. And then I also did pay for my car insurance and as well as my student loan minimum payment, which is $130.77. Now, aside from that, I did have a couple of expenses here, as you guys can see, and I'm just going to go through each one. So the first one that I have is actually on the 7th, and it was for some Uggs. I recently bought myself some Uggs. Well, actually, my sister bought them for me on Bays because they were like on Mego sale, as well as I didn't have to pay taxes for them. And so what you see here is $11 for the Uggs, which actually came out of my allowance cash envelope. But this was the difference after I took out money from my allowance sinking fund, which, if you guys are new to my channel, you guys don't know this, but I have been rolling over whatever amount I have from my allowance cash envelope at the end of the month to a specific allowance sinking fund for anything that I wanted to buy myself in the future that cost, a little bit more than what my allowance had. And honestly, I was not expecting to buy this whatsoever, but I've honestly never owned a pair of Uggs. And once she told me they were on sale and I didn't have to pay taxes for them, I definitely felt really, really good about having saved X amount of money towards my allowance sinking fund that I was like, you know what? I'll take them. Like, I've been wanting Uggs since forever, and I'm really happy about this purchase. So the difference from what I had in my allowance and how much the Uggs were was $11, so that I just automatically check out of, once again, my allowance cash envelope. So that was on the 7th when I sent her the money for that. Then next up, I did go ahead and pump gas on the 8th. I pumped $35 worth of gas, and that was, I believe, when I went to go pick up my glasses. Then on the 10th, me and Paul went to Aldi, and we spent $41 from here. I am taking it out of my groceries cash envelope, although some of the things weren't necessarily groceries. But since the last time some groceries I took out of my Christmas sinking fund, I just decided to take this money out of groceries. And that's kind of how I go about things. Sometimes if I'm going to like Aldi and I buy things from like my sinking fund, I'll mark it as groceries. Sometimes I won't. Sometimes if I'm really tight on like grocery money or any certain cash envelope, I will go ahead and split things. But I did roll over some money for groceries, I believe, as well as a couple other cash envelopes that I knew that I would be okay. And it was only a few bucks from here that weren't necessarily groceries. So that is what I spent for Aldi. And then I sent my sister $10 for Starbucks because we did this whole like cookie decorating contest, and she did end up winning some of those. We decorated 4 different cookies. And if you guys are wondering or are interested in seeing all of that, you should definitely go ahead and check out my Vlogmas videos. I've been vlogging pretty much every single day, and I will be up until, I believe, Christmas Day. And then the last expense that I had was on the 13th. We went to Tierra Mia, which is another coffee shop, and I purchased some coffee there, so that was $11. And both of these came out of my eating out cash envelope. So I believe, yeah, those are pretty much all of the expenses that I had for this week, which is actually really funny because although I only had, let's say, like one expense here or one bill here, I don't count those as no spend days. Though the only no spend day that I had this week was on the 9th, which is actually kind of funny. But that is going to go right there. And now that I have those laid down, I'm going to come into my weekly check-in page, and I'm going to write out my cash envelope categories, which are the categories that I like to weekly check in for. So we have groceries, we have household, eating out, allowance. And I know last week I didn't count my cash, the leftover cash in my actual envelope. So this time around, I will be sure to do that. I'm just going to put them on the side so that I remember, because sometimes I forget to count the cash. But I know that a lot of you guys actually enjoy that, so can't forget that. So we have eating out, allowance, beauty, gas, and then I do like to have a sort of placeholder category for any unbudgeted expenses. So those are all of my categories, and now let's go ahead and go one by one. For groceries, I have one expense of $41 for Aldi. So in total I spent $41 here. As you guys can see, I had $213 remaining last week, so $213 minus 41 means that I have $172 left over for groceries, which is pretty good, but we do still have 3 more weeks. But I think this is a pretty good amount for me to have. As I mentioned, I do live with my boyfriend, and we do pretty much split the groceries pretty evenly, I would say. So I think this is a pretty good amount for me to have left over so far. Then for household, I don't have any of these like clay colored stickers, so I'm going to put a 0 for this category. And just as I was forgetting to count the cash, one of my cash envelopes moved a little bit to my side. So for groceries, I should have in here 172. So let me roll up my sleeves here. We have 150, 160, 65, 66, 7, 8, 9, 71, and 72. So I have 172 left over in my groceries envelope. And how cute is this buffalo plaid cash envelope? This was kind of like a limited release in my shop, although I know I just got asked, I believe I got a question or a comment on one of my videos that you guys were looking for that over on my site. I'm not sure if I'm going to list them necessarily, but if you would be interested in purchasing some cash envelopes in this buffalo plaid design, you can always shoot me an email at info@rominarosa.com. So back to the video. For household, I have 108, and let's see, we have 50, 70, 90, 105, 6, 7, and 108. For household, I honestly think we're doing so good with household, and I feel that we're going to be under budget by a lot of money, because I honestly don't see us buying anything aside than our usual like toilet paper or wipes, detergent here and there, but even then the impulse split for everything. So I think moving forward I'm going to probably budget a little bit less than what I've been budgeting for this category. So that was for household. Then for eating out, I have 2 expenses. I have one for Starbucks, $10, and Tierra Mia of $11. So that is a total of $21 spent. And last week I had $124, so that means that I should have $103 remaining for eating out. So here's my eating out cash envelope, and now let's go ahead and count the cash inside of it. We have 50, 70, 90, 100, 1, 2, and 3. So 1 and 3 left over for eating out. Also another category that we've been doing pretty good with, as well as the fact that I did roll over some money for my eating out cash envelope. So I definitely love rolling over money, and I've said this time and time again, which is one of the main reasons why I added a little plus or minus section to my weekly check-in kits, so that way for those of you who do roll over or who budget paycheck to paycheck, you're able to add that money into your weekly check-in. Because I know for the longest it's been a little bit hard for you guys to have the whole weekly check-in set up, implemented into your budget planner, which definitely makes sense. So that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to add it, so that if you rolled over money or if you budget paycheck to paycheck, then it would be so much more easier for you to use this system. So I have 103 for eating out. And then for allowance, let's see, for allowance I spent the Uggs. I spent $11 for the Uggs, and that was pretty much it. So let's put 11. Last week we had $100 remaining, so 100 minus 11 means that we should have $89 left. So let's see, we have 50, 70, 85, 6, 7, 8, and 89. Perfect. That is for allowance. And then for beauty, I am going to put 0 spent. As you guys can tell, I did go ahead and get my nails done, although these are looking a little bit messed up. But for this week, or this time around, I am going to be counting my nails as a business expense, because one of the main reasons why I get my nails done is to have presentable looking nails here for my videos, because pretty much 90% of the videos that I get up here on my channel are featuring my nails. So I did take out this nail appointment expense from my YouTube income, if you guys are wondering, as well as because I know that I will be getting my eyelashes done once again, and I might end up getting a fill for these nails. So I'm definitely trying to make it work within my budget, and if it doesn't work out, if it's too much for me by the end of the month, I'll kind of see. Like, I know for sure I'm going to stop going to get my eyelashes done, which is going to be another less expense, and then maybe I'll just keep getting my nails done. It's definitely something new, because prior to this month, I honestly haven't been getting my nails done all that much, or prior to like the end of November. So if you guys were wondering why that's 0, that is why. So I still have $161 for beauty. And this is once again going to cover probably my eyelash fill as well as my nails, a fill for my nails. So we have 50, 100, 20, 40, 150, 55, 60, and 161. That is for beauty. And then for gas, I actually did pump gas, I feel like, finally, and that was $35. To be honest, guys, I think I am going to be decreasing my gas budget, just because although I did put $35 in here, it ended up being like 34 and change. So I think moving forward, I might just end up pumping $30 every time. So I might end up decreasing it from the $70 that I typically budget for gas to maybe $60. I don't know why I don't want to just, put $30 or $35 for the whole month. That makes me feel a little bit stressed, and I feel like I'll be over budget, even though I honestly haven't been pumping gas all that much, like at all. But yeah, so I had $70 last week, and that is what I started with. Minus 35 from this week means that I should have, or that I have, $35 left for the month, which is a pretty good amount. Like I've mentioned before, there's been months where I've only pumped once. I feel like, if at all. I feel like there was a month where I didn't pump at all, probably during like quarantine and all of that. But yeah, I could, decrease it to just having enough money to pump once per month, but I kind of want to ease into it. So I'm thinking that decreasing this amount to $60 would be better than just saying, okay, no, just $30 or $35 for the whole month. So I have $20, $30, and $35 remaining for gas. And that, well, let me put a 0 here and unbudgeted because I don't have any of the red stickers. So we're gonna put 0 here and a dash there, since I don't necessarily budget anything for that category. So that is going to be pretty much it for the weekly check-in part of this video. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring you guys to my sinking funds, which I've had a few expenses since the last time we saw each other. So since my week 1 check-in, I've had 3 expenses. I spent $99 once again for my UGG boots. I did have $99 in here, and the total of them was $110. So I took $99 from my allowance sinking fund, and then the $11 once again from my allowance cash envelope. Then on the 7th, I paid $257 for my car registration, which I've been saying that it's coming up, and I finally paid for it. And then last but not least, on the 11th, I paid around $21. Me and Paul actually went on a date to the Anaheim Packing House last week, which we also vlogged for Vlogmas, and that's kind of what we did. We went ahead and split that in half. But aside from that, that's all that I've been spending from my sinking funds so far. I still do have to buy a couple of stocking stuffers with my Christmas sinking fund, so I'm pretty sure that's going to be coming, if not this week, the week after, because yeah, Christmas is coming up pretty soon, which is crazy to me. But I hope that you guys are having a good December so far, and that you guys are at least a little bit excited for the holidays. I know it's kind of hard to be, but I like to keep a positive outlook on things. So that is it for my sinking fund spread. And then last but not least, before I go, I wanted to mention that this is how I mark my nails as a business expense. So I have here my variable income spread, where I go ahead and note my variable sources of income like YouTube, Patreon, any other side hustles that I do aside from my shop. And so in here, I'll put any business expenses that concern to those sources of income. So I go ahead and mark in the sticky note how much I'm paying for shipping for either YouTube, giveaway, Patreon, or if I'm missing something for the shop. Anything like that, I'll go ahead and put it in this little sticky note. This is my shipping charges sticky note. And then last week I of course paid for PicMonkey, and then this time around I went ahead and wrote down how much I spent for my nails. I also had to get the Gel X nails soaked off, so that was in the charge, as well as the tip that I gave my nail tech. But as you guys can see, aside from that, I have not been spending whatsoever, because one of my main goals for December is to decrease my business spending. Just because with Black Friday and Cyber Monday, I kind of went a little ham trying to figure out what planners I'm going to be using for 2021, and just wanted to really stock up on things that I knew that I was going to be using in that planner. And so I'm trying to definitely not spend much. I'm not going to say at all, because that would be lying to you guys if we're being honest, but I'm definitely trying to decrease my business spending this month. So with that being said, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this week 2 check-in video. If you guys enjoyed it, as always, please do not forget to give it a huge thumbs up, as well as subscribe to my channel if you guys are not subscribed already, and hopefully I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye guys.